Lovelies, welcome back to my channel. So let's get into today's video. We are going to be reviewing Evie's Patty Gel kit, and this is UV LED curable. You get three 30-milliliter tubes, and the directions are on the back of the box. So the colors that come in the kit, again, you get three 30-milliliter tubes. That's an ounce each. The colors that come in the kit are So Cute, which is a pink with a slight shimmer to it. The second color that you get in the kit is called Sweet Life, and that is a clear with some iridescent glitters inside. And the third color that you get is called Amethyst, and this is a purple, and there are some iridescent glitters inside that as well. I'm going to be using these 3 times extra large square full coverage tips that are available on my website. And I'm also going to be using Not Polish's Triple X Bond to prep the nails and also to prep the inside of the tips. The reason that I chose to use the primer to prep the inside of the tips is because I didn't feel like dealing with all of the dust. And this is another way to prep the inside of your full coverage tips. You don't always have to go in with your e-file, or if you don't have an e-file, you can just use the primer and use a generous amount where it's going to adhere to the nail and just let that dry. Now I'm going in with Not Polish's Super Base Coat, and I'm just going to put that on the hand, and I'm going to cure that for 30 seconds. Now, when I'm applying my tips, I like to flash cure them, and I'm using this gooseneck lamp, and this is also available on my website. All of the details and all the products that I'm using will be in the description box below, so definitely check that out if you're interested in anything that I'm using today. So to apply the tips, you don't want to use too much base coat, but you want to use enough to cover the natural nail plate. So I paint the inside of the tip to correlate with the natural nail where it's going to adhere to. And then I wipe the excess in the cuticle area so it can just fill in any gaps between the tip and the nail. Because, you know, sometimes your nail might be flat and these might be curved. So I put that excess to fill in that gap so there's no air bubbles or anything like that between your nail and the extension that you're using. So I'm just going to apply all the tips, and I'm just flash curing them, just, you know, to save time. And for me, using a gooseneck lamp is easier for me to work versus the other lamps that are available, because I typically, when I'm using the other lamps, I typically put the nails on crooked. So I prefer gooseneck, and again, this is available on my website. But after I apply all the tips, I do put the hand in the lamp for a full cure, and that is for 60 seconds. So you always want to remember, just because you flash cure just to get it set and so it doesn't move, you still want to go in with that full cure. Especially with gel, your nails will either pop off, or if you're wearing uncured products, you can get allergies. So I did prep the nails off camera, which I just cleaned up the shape a little bit and etched the surface so that the polygel can stick to it. So now I'm going in with the color So Cute, and what I'm going to be doing on the first 2 nails is building a smile line. Well, this isn't the smile line part, but I'm going to do French tips. So I think this part, I guess it's a smile line. Let's just call it a smile line. So when I went in this first time, I didn't have enough product around that cuticle area. It's a little bit sheer, so I'm just going to shape this as best as I can, and then I'm going to flash cure it, and then just put a little bit more polygel right on top of that. And after I'm done doing the smile lines, I'm going to fully cure it and then clean up the shape with a file, and you'll see me do that in a little bit. So let's talk about this polygel set. So I did quickly go over it in the beginning. You do get 3 colors in 3 milliliter tubes. And I don't call this a kit because it only comes with the Polygel. She does offer a Polygel brush, which I didn't get because I have about 8,000 of them, just from all the other kits that I've purchased or received in PR. So I didn't have a need for another brush, but it's a really pretty brush. And I'll link the kit, her website, in the description box below. So what I've noticed, and I'm kind of speaking in the future versus how this has been recorded. So with this polygel, throughout the entire application of the polygels, this was an easy polygel to work with, and it was not a sticky polygel. The consistency of it is, it's kind of a medium. It's not hard and it's not too soft. So it's somewhere there in the middle. Typically I use base coat to apply my polygel. I know most people are still using alcohol, so that's what I'm using here. The reason I like base coat is because if you're working with a stickier polygel, it's a little bit easier to work with. But in this situation, I was able to use the alcohol and not have a problem with stickiness. Even when the alcohol started to rub off my brush, the polygel still wasn't extremely sticky. So I did like that. In my opinion, I think this is a beginner and a DIY friendly polygel. And, well, I should be calling it Patty Gel because that's what the name of it is. This is a beginner friendly and a DIY friendly patty gel. I know a lot of us are still doing our own nails because of the pandemic, or some of us just prefer to do our own nails, and I think this set is perfect. And the reason that I like this is because a lot of the times when you're buying kits or you've bought multiple kits, you have a lot of files, top and base coats, brushes. You have a lot of products that you might not necessarily use. So this kit to me felt like, well, this set to me felt like it's not a wasteful set. So I definitely feel like I'm going to get the proper use out of what was provided. And I think by now, a lot of us do have our preferences on top coat, base coats. But in my mind, I have a feeling that Evie will be coming out with a lot more products. And I'm actually excited to see what she comes out with. So, yes. So overall, I do like the polygel. Even working with the clear with the glitter, the one called Sweet Life, it still wasn't sticky. So there was a consistency versus the 2 colors that I used that I did enjoy. And sometimes, just depending on the color that, or pigment, or whatever's in the polygel, some can be stickier than others. So I did enjoy the consistency between the 2 that I used today. So you did see me pull the nails out of the hand to file. That's just my preference. It kind of preserves the life of my practice hand a little bit, and I'm not trying to fake like I'm doing nails on a real hand in this video, or in any of my videos for that matter. Like, it's a practice hand. So I find it easier to do the filing with pulling the nails out, so you're not ripping your practice hand, and then you just have a little bit more control. So that's why I do that. But typically I do most of my filing off camera. I am going in with Makartt's clear polygel, and that was just to encapsulate, as well as encapsulate the ombre so I don't mess it up with filing. And then on this nail, there is a gap between the smile line and the polygel that I'm using, and I didn't want to use up the polygel to make that even, so I just used the clear for that. I did realize once I was filing, I used a little bit too much clear, and these nails were thick. So I don't typically do square nails. I'll do a coffin, but for me, I still have to work on the bulkiness of the nail. So that's another area of, you know, improvement that I still have to do. But overall, I was able to maintain the shape of the square nails, as well as not have the nails look too bulky. So you will see that shortly. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for the polygel. If you guys have any questions about this polygel set, definitely let me know and I will answer to the best of my ability. Evie does have a video, obviously, demonstrating this product as well. And there are definitely a lot of tutorials. I'm a little late with mine, but we'll talk about that at another time. So here are the nails after I have filed and shaped and buffed them. I really like how these came out. I like the subtleness of this design. And so now I'm just going to figure out my bling placement. I am also pulling a couple pieces from her bling kits that I'll leave the link for down below. And these two smaller rhinestone kits are from my website, which will be linked down below as well. So I'm just kind of like playing with the nails. I have what I think I want in mind. So I'm just kind of mapping that out on my table. And I actually stuck to the design for the first one, but the second one I completely changed my mind. So I do like, for me, I have to map things out a little bit different or kind of like sketch off to the side. And I'm using these tiles that I got from Lowe's for like $3 on my tabletop, but you can actually write on them. I write on them with pencil all the time, and it's off camera because it's off to the side, and then you can just wipe it off with alcohol. So that kind of helps me too. Or sometimes I'll actually write with pencil on the nail and sketch out my bling placement. You just kind of have to do what's going to help you the most. You don't have to work hard. You don't have to do everything like the way someone else does it. If someone freehands it, like, do what helps you, and that's it. That's just pretty much it. So the rhinestone gel that I'm using is by Makartt as well. Again, that will be linked down below. And this clip is sped up. I believe I sped this up about 4 times, but I wanted to bring attention to that because the amount of time it took me to place this bling, you can see that for the most part, it pretty much stayed in place. So I do like the Makartt gel, and I didn't use a lot. I tried to go in with less than I normally use, and it worked out just fine. I am going in and fixing the placement of some of the rhinestones, but once I have that, I just flash cure it with my gooseneck lamp. And I do like this rhinestone glue because the rhinestones aren't slipping and sliding all over the place. So I'll link that down below. And again, this nail, it's sped up about 4 times, so you can just imagine how long it really took me to put all these rhinestones on the nail, and they didn't move. So yeah, it kind of took me a while to review the kit, not because there was anything, the polygel set, the patty gel set, just because I've been busy. You guys know that I'm in school and I do work full time, and just a lot has been going on, especially the month of March. I'm actually working. I go to school during the week and a full day on Saturdays. And lately our job has been having us do overtime. So I'm doing overtime on Sundays as well. So I haven't had a day off the whole month of March. So, you know, my YouTube has kind of been on the back burner, but I should be done with school. I'm over halfway done. So I'm hoping that once I'm done with school, then I can get back to my regular schedule. So yeah, I should be done with school at the end of May, but I do appreciate everyone that has subscribed since I haven't uploaded. I appreciate everyone that has been subscribed through this entire journey with me. I appreciate all of you guys, and Thank you so much for sticking with me and allowing me to get things done on the back end, which will allow me to bring you better videos, bring you better content, more educated content. So I do appreciate that. And I appreciate the people that have asked, hey girl, where you've been. So I appreciate all of you guys. Now I'm just top coating with Not Polish's Gloss It. And I am going underneath the nail just so the light can reflect a little bit better off the top coated bottom portion of the nail and the top coated top portion of the nail. Well, underside of the nail. I really like how these turned out. It's a simple design. You guys know I'm not like my designs are pretty simple. That's just my aesthetic, but I do think these came out really pretty. I do like the colors that were provided in the kit, and I do like especially how these two complement each other. I'm sorry, I keep saying kit, but I mean set. So here is the finished look. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And again, thank you so much for spending your time with me, and I will be back soon for another video.